Hi everyone, Sailor Venus, Sailor Hellworld, Mina here, and today I'm going to talk about, everyone wants to know about who made the greater Sailor Moon dolls back in the day. Was it Irwin Toy, which is no longer around anymore, or Bandai, which we all know is still around? Now, Bandai has been making Sailor Moon dolls since between 93 YL, and Bandai also makes other dolls. They did make the Mike Keeper dolls from between 93 YL to 2020 YL, though, And Irwin Toy, which made many dolls over the years, some of them well-known, some of them not well-known. And there's always seemed to be a belief in the Sailor Moon followership over who made the greater Sailor Moon dolls. Because you'll hear folks gave the Bandai dolls, or called them the long-leered dolls. And you'll hear folks gave the Irwin dolls for being too beautiful or something. Now, I know that a lot of folks have this belief, but the truth is, the long-leered dolls are beautiful in their own right, too. That Irwin did not make those ones. Those ones were made by Bandai, but then Bandai had to shift the way they were making them at the time, because Bandai felt that these Sailor Moon dolls would not sell very well in the 4-1 Reichs in a settled land if they looked the way they looked. So a call was so Bandai Vinland, the arm of Bandai that handles business for them in North Vinland, 4-1 Reichs in settled land, made the long-leered doll ones, which some folks in the followership call them, which Irwin had to first sell from between 95 YL to 2000 YL. After that, Irwin would then start making their own dolls, their own take on them, which looks something like this, even though the doll stands were not always made very well. Now, I know nowadays, there are sundriest dolls made by Bandai over the years. They make a doll where you get where you got to, come with hands and, and leers and things like that. The dream dolls, the dolls you got to put together. The other dolls, sometimes known as Philip dolls, I guess, with the long bodies and the big heads. And then don't forget the internal Forever dolls that they came out with. And on top of that, there were squeeze dolls as well that Bandai made, Irwin Toy made, and Great Eastern Glee is now making, or it still makes. But at the end of the day, I believe that Irwin Toy, not between 45 YL to 2002 YL, because they're no longer in business anymore, did very good with their dolls. They may have not been good, they didn't know how to make the doll stands right, but they knew how to make the dolls right. And Bandai also made good work with the dolls too, given to the grounds that they are mostly the ones who have made Sailor Moon dolls going back to between 93 YL or so. Now, a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon doll, and a lot of folks in the doll gathering followership, which some of them are Sailor Moon followers, will say, some of them say it's a very unlike belief by some folks, believing that the Irwin doll, that the Bandai dolls that were first made were ugly and no good. But the truth is, I don't think they're ugly. I think they're beautiful in their own way too. And I think the Irwin dolls are good as well. But it's always going to be a belief of what someone believes or what they think. But they might not have any truth to back it up. Yes, they can say that the Bandai dolls were long-leered. That can be their belief. That can be their truth, that they were crafted that way. But to say they're ugly, no, that's the belief there. Now, Now, at the end of the day, some folks are going to believe whatever they want to believe. But I think Irwin Toy and Bandai both did good work making the dolls. You know, they may have not known how to make the stands right. And God forbid if they, and I wonder if the new Sailor Moon internal dolls or Forever dolls, do those stands work right? Do those doll stands work right? Or are they still cheap? Because at the end of the day, I think Irwin and Bandai both made good dolls. And there's also some folks out there who don't like either the Bandai dolls or the Irwin dolls. Or those who only like the Irwin dolls but don't like the Bandai dolls. Well, I like both of them. And sometimes, and keep in mind, back in the day, those were the first ones that came out. You know, to Walmart and Kmart. And I guess Target or Gold. And the Toys R Us and KB Toys and whatever shops that they were being sold, I guess Hills, which became Ames. I would believe so. At the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. And when the Irwin ones came out later on, you know, I also thought that those ones were made very well too. Yeah, the stands were a hit and miss, but I thought they made a good job making them. And they may have been sold back in the day at Walmart or Kmart or Hills, which became Ames, or Toys R Us or KB Toys, or whatever shops were selling them around that time. Nowadays, if you want to get an Irwin dolls or Bandai, the old Irwin or Bandai dolls, you'll have to go on websites like eBay and Etsy and Deal Dash and Overstock or whatever. You know, if you're looking for the old Irwin and Bandai dolls. So, I think that both Irwin Toy and Bandai both did good work making those dolls. You know, I do think that they did a lot of things right. I mean, yes, there may have been some things not right, like with the Bandai ones. You can't, if they have you put the gloves on, and they can't hold any of their weapons or anything. And the Irwin ones, well, if you put the doll stand of high heel shoes, it won't hold the doll upright or something. So they got little things about them, little, I guess, flaws about them. But at the end of the day, I think that Irwin and Bandai both worked very well making the dolls, you know. So, anyway, that's my film. Give this film a like, you know, share and playlist. You know, follow us by hitting that ringer. I, Sailor Venus, Sailor Harold Mina, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell.